And we are back on Yeah Coach podcast, where we encourage you to take action in life through the testimonies of others. And I have my good friend. She graduated with a double bachelor's degree in marketing and international business. She has been with OTF Fitness here in corporate headquarters in Florida and here in Lexington, Kentucky for a little over a year. And with her fitness journey, she's lost over 80 pounds. I welcome the Coach Nichole. How you doing today?
I'm awake. I'm with
You
it.
awake? You just woke up?
I just woke up.
Well, welcome. First, I want to thank you for your time. Like this is an opportunity for me and the people listening to hear another story of how they can be encouraged and just another perspective on encouragement to take action in life. And I want to say thank you because not everybody's as open, and it takes real courage just to take that step. So thank you, Nichole.
Well, thank you. I'm excited for this journey for you, and I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm super excited to hear everybody's story. So thanks for letting me be on.
Moving on from that, the first question for the podcast: what did you eat for breakfast this morning?
2 yogurts. I was in a rush.
2 yogurts?
Yes.
Oh, let everybody know what time you woke up this morning.
This morning I woke up at 3:55 a.m.
Ooh, 3:55?
Yeah.
Why?
3:55. That is the morning routine if you're in the fitness industry. A lot of people are very familiar with it.
Man, you are not wrong. So 3:55 this morning, you scarfed down 2 yogurts and headed into OTF.
Headed to OTF to open up the studio. Yep.
Man, so how did you start with OTF? Like what made you go to OTF? And by the way, for people that may be new to the podcast, OTF is Orange Theory Fitness. It's the orange logo you see all around the United States, around the world. That seems a little bit like a cult. It's not, but it is at the same time.
We love it. You will too. So how I got started with OTF. So yeah, I was training at one of the corporate studios in West Boca. And I got started with them because I was working with their competition in South Florida. And I left that gym because we had differences. I wanted to be a trainer. They didn't want to make me a trainer. I was the multi-unit studio manager for their gym. And I was like, that's fine. I'll go to your competition. No problem. I was 23. I had a lot of, fire under me to go and be better. And went and trained for 6 months under the head coach over there at OTF in West Boca and loved it. Loved the environment, loved the people. I honestly thank him for everything that he taught me over the 6 months because he taught me how to be a coach, right? He taught me how to be a trainer, how to take someone who's new and just mold them into what it should be. I'll tell you, the first week at corporate training for coaches is rough. All you do is learn the first 5 minutes of the intro, and while everyone's doing their intro, you're on the tread running at your base pace for hours. Very intense week, but it teaches you that you can be someone. But I was the underdog, right? It didn't end up working out. I didn't get a solid coaching position there. I ended up taking another job at another studio. So I trained there, was fun, but I needed money. Trainers need money. It's hard getting into that world. So
starting off, you started somewhere else before OTF, and then when they didn't want to bring you to that coach position, you left to go train for that coach position. What was the business there? What gym was that?
I just choose not to name them.
Understood.
But honestly, I have nothing but ultimate respect for them. Even though I wasn't the ideal coach. When you enter the fitness industry, so I lost 80 pounds in that gym, right? That's how I got started into the fitness world. I was never athletic growing up. I was never a soccer player. I did color guard in high school, which I loved. But I was always chubby, as a kid. And having losing the 80 pounds at that gym, being a trainer there would have been the dream come true, but it wasn't the body type that they were looking for. And those are exact quotes. So I was like, you know what? That is not an issue. No problem. Went to OTF and learned that you can be a trainer in someone else's eyes. It's just sometimes it's better not to have your backstory there,
I don't like that. I don't like the way they did that. But you can only control what you can control.
Right.
And you moved on. You kept a level head with it. And you made the most of it. You learned so much more somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that was able to make you a better coach and a better person.
Oh,
you were able to do more things from that. because now you're a studio manager. So like this is, I think it led to some great things.
I do too.
If you had to pick one thing that you got the most out of through that experience, or through the experience of being at OTF, what would that be?
To not give up, and that what I learned from the head trainer in West Boca is that they see you. You just, and someone out there is going to give you a chance. Even if you're a new fitness instructor, or like you have a similar journey to that I do, and you're not like brought up in the fitness world. I tell people I was born into the fitness world when I was 22 years old, So someone out there is going to give you a chance. People do see the light in you, and you have to see the light in yourself and keep pushing. Like, that's one thing that he taught me, and I am so grateful for that. I know he's no longer with OTF. I know he, a couple years ago, opened up his own gym. But like, if he wouldn't have taken that chance on me, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Hmm. So he was like a coach for you, like quite literally and figuratively coached you in different ways.
Yeah.
Wow. So you got into the fitness journey at 22, you said?
Yeah, I some personal things happened, got cheated on, and I kind of looked at my life and was like, well, every time you always want to go back and get that revenge body, right? But it ultimately came down to like, I choose myself this time, and I'm choosing my health and fitness. I lost my father at 19 to like, he was on dialysis, the whole works and everything. He had like stents and like the metal jacket, 7 stents in his heart, a lot of medical issues, but it taught me that like, I don't want to grow up to be like that. And also I want to choose myself after this breakup, because I never do. So mentally I was getting ready. Like, my therapy was the gym, and I would go twice a day, and I didn't know what to do, but I just did it. And I just kept pushing through,
Mm-hmm.
And then 50 pounds fell off like that.
What? That's just a phenomenal story. Like that. That's amazing. What was I gonna say here? I had a question. Oh, what got you up in the morning? Like, what was like, hey, I want to keep going. I want to keep doing this. Like pound after pound. Did you like at the beginning? Did you see a lot of progress right at the beginning, or you just like, all right, this is something that's I'm using to substitute the time that I would be with this person? Like, what was your thought process?
My thought process was, I had a friend who got me into this gym, and he would wake up every morning with me at 5 a.m. to go, because his thought process was, you can afford to spend all this money on Starbucks and food. You can afford this gym membership. You need it. I said, bet. And, having someone show up for me, let me know that, yeah, it was there. I mean, the first month I lost 15 pounds right away, just like, and I went to Smoothie King. Like, I didn't do it the normal way people did it. They're like, it wasn't chicken and broccoli. It was like still eating what I wanted to, but like working out twice a day. So, and I don't advise that, but for me, I was on a mission. And when I saw that I could do that, that was amazing. I'd never lost like 15 pounds. I was like, wow, this is exciting. So I started learning more. I started getting on YouTube and like researching things, and like having Smoothie King every day. And that, for me, that was easy. You know what I mean? That was what made the journey like worth it, because I was still eating. Like, people are like, oh, take the dressing off your salad. No, I don't want to take the dressing off my salad. I'm going to put it on my salad. I'm going to just do extra work or learn to eat like differently. You know what I mean? And then it kind of stunted. Like 5 months in, I had lost 50 pounds, and I was like, okay, well, so I started learning a lot more. And then, I got a macro coach. I got introduced to that, and she would make meal plans for me. I didn't know that it was macros back then, but, she would make meal plans for me, and she would put like Chick-fil-A in it, and like pub wraps, like subs, but like in a wrap. She worked with what I like to eat, and that like taught me that like there is people out there who you can trust to like teach you how to eat, even if you still like to go like get grilled nuggets at Chick-fil-A or whatever. So yeah, she was it was funny because like the first message, she was like, you're very carb heavy. So we're gonna learn how to not be, but still give you what you like. And for me, I'm very emotionally attached to people. Like, I have to have like trust with them, and then I'll follow the program. So what I mean by that is, because she took the time to learn my eating habits and actually apply that to the meal plan, instead of just being like, oh, like, you like chicken and broccoli and rice, cool, here's a here's a meal plan. You know what I mean? No, she logged my food for like 2 weeks, figured out my personality, and then made a meal plan based off of that. So that is what I mean by I trusted her. So I was going to follow it because she took the time to get to know me. So that created the emotional attachment.
Oh, okay. Wow. So would you recommend what was that person's role? Was that nutrition? Was that health coach? Was that dietitian? What?
She was a little bit of everything. I still work with her. Her name is Jane. I always go back to her. I may try other coaches, Jane, but love you. So she actually, yeah, she is still with me to this day. I'm actually on a macro plan with her right now. I just lost 10 pounds recently after gaining a little bit back. But she's just like a life coach, I would say at this point. Even though she is making my, meal plan and my workout plan, she's there for you. She helps you with your digestion. She helps you understand why. She helps you understand your blood test. She helps you every single week. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I owe a lot to her. Yeah.
Wow. So from what I'm hearing, it kind of correlates and gives more examples of honestly what we're doing here right now.
Yeah.
It's the people that have been in your life that have given you that coach courage, that literally is that courage to take the next step, to walk it, but one, to walk it, two, to let you know you're not walking it alone, three, to actually walk it with you. Because
Yes.
you could actually you could go on a journey, you can walk it by yourself knowing someone's with you, or you can actually have someone step by step walking, taking the same steps with you.
Yeah.
Like that's big. Um, wow. Wow, Nicole. Shoot. Okay. So my next question, I'm gonna throw it off a little bit. Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna throw it off. You ready for it?
Ready?
All right, here's a question. Are you who you are because of what you do, or do you do what you do because of who you are?
Oh.
Take your time. Take your time.
Am I am who I am because of what I do, or do I do what I do because of who I am? I do what I do because of who I am. I am a how do I do not plan things. I am a very big believer in you can plan something and it'll never happen to the T. Something's always going to happen. So the way I live my life is I will pack up and move no matter what. Like, and I mean that in a, not that I'm avoiding things, but in quit a job and take a leap of faith because I see something out there on the horizon and that feels right. I'm going to do it. And nothing's going to stop me. So I do what I do because of who I am. For sure. For sure.
Where do you think that came from? How do you think that developed to you as you grew up?
That definitely came from my father. My father instilled in us my brand, which I now have turned into a brand, Never Say Can't. So I have it tattooed on my back. And I actually got that before he passed, so we got to see that tattoo, which was really cool. And he used to tell us all the time, like, you can do whatever you can do whatever you say. Like, put your mind to it. You can do it. Like, no matter what. My dad taught us to be very independent growing up, and he used to always tell us, never say can't. That was his slogan. That was it. So when I started my fitness business, I was like, never say can't. Like, that's it. Like, that's the name of the business. It's the motto. It's the business. It's the lifestyle. It's the metaphor. It's the movement. And people were using it. They were hashtagging it and running and doing all these things. And it was amazing. And it was like swept, like what I like to think, like my little America of people that I had as a support system. But that was instilled in me at a very young age. And I am that way. And it's a double-edged sword. Sometimes I take leaps that are scary for other people, scary for a partner that I have at the time, or scary for family members because they're like, you're going to quit your job again and go take a leap. And I'm like, yeah. And that's especially like when I got into the fitness industry, I just quit my job. OTF, I was training on the side, but it was shadow training, so I wasn't being paid. But I was like, yeah, I just quit my studio manager job. No problem. I'll figure it out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I do everything the way I do because of that. And I wouldn't change it.
When as I hear that, I know a lot of people that are like you, and when I think about it, and I think about people that are the complete opposite, that's me. Like 100%, I have to plan everything. It's not even that I have to. It's like I want to, and I feel better, and I do better when I do plan it. I'm getting better when it comes to changing and turning on a dime, but I it's tough for me. What advice would you give someone that struggles having that mentality, that struggles, like, not necessarily change, because I can adapt to change,
Hmm.
but struggles with quick changes that are quick commitments?
You're never going to know unless you try. Every failure is bringing you closer to that opportunity. So if you learn a lesson from a failure. So if you take that quick commitment and it didn't end up working out, you know what? There's a lesson that you get to put in your playbook. That would be my advice. Short and sweet.
Mm, wow. That's going to be some things that I'm going to try to implement these next couple of months and years, because that's something that I know that I could benefit from, and I could help other people benefit from as well.
I mean, yeah, like you definitely have to like think about it. So I envy people who can plan things and have that stability, right? But it's like, and funny, I was talking about this with my therapist today. Like, you, m- so I've had like, not issues, but definitely like some people who have been in my life have wanted that stability factor, right? Because that's how they are. They plan everything to a T. They have their comfort bubble, and it's still like a comfort bubble where they can still go out and reach these dreams, but sometimes they can't push the bubble, right? So I'm here like rolling the bubble. I'm like, let's go this way, right? Nope, we're going this way. Like, so, so I understand when they say like, I want the stability factor. I get that. But I was talking to my therapist and I was like, you know what? Like, I need to create the stability factor for myself first by trying on all the different hats. And then when I find out what I want, then I can lock it down and start building from there, right? So like I did the fitness industry. The fitness industry wasn't it for me. Like I did the studio manager thing. The studio manager thing isn't it for me. Did the entrepreneur thing, like being a donut maker, wasn't it for me. But I've had all these experiences. And that's when I say like every failure leads you to an answer, a lesson. And it's like amazing because I have all those experiences. You know what I mean? But I never planned any of them. They just happened.
I mean, how could you plan them? How could you plan the experiences? You just going with rolling with the flow.
Oh yeah, God no. I mean, I literally moved to Lexington and I was like, I'm gonna make donuts, protein donuts, and then that was it. And then I was in the newspaper and on the news and in central faces of like Kentucky, like on Instagram and interviews and stuff, and like food bloggers. Like that was a wild experience. That was 4 months, all because I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm bored. Let's go. And it just started never say can't because I was bored sitting on a 8-hour shift and just built a flyer on my phone. And then I was like, yep, bought a desk, bought books, learned how to do shit. Sorry. Took the NASM course, like really studied, really learned the human body, and became a personal trainer. Started training people at parks, doing beach workouts. Like I never planned any of it. Here's the thing with people like me, and I don't know if anyone else can relate to this. I know I have a friend right now who does. It's like a roller coaster, and this is how she described it. If I set my mind on something, I never plan it, because if I tell someone the idea and they start to put a plan on it and start to stabilize it for themselves, I don't want to do it anymore. You have to let me go on the roller coaster. So go through the motions of starting the donut business, starting the never say can't thing with no big picture in sight, except like the very broad goal of like, hey, today I'm going to, like, for example, right now, right? Like I'm moving back to Florida. There's no grand scheme of things. My big plan is to travel Europe. I have no job, no plan, but it's going to happen either way, you know? But if someone was to come into my life and be like, "Hey, this is how you're going to do it," I wouldn't want to do it anymore. Because you have to let me go on that roller coaster and then come to a stop and be like, "I figured it out. Here's how we're going to lay out the plan." took a little bumps, took a little roadblocks, and then the magic happens. Then I bring in the support system and try to like pan everything out, you know?
Okay, I'm understanding a little better. I feel like I understand the mindset of people with mindsets like yours, similar like to you. The more I talk and converse with these people, because I don't 100% get it, because I don't appeal to that type of mindset. I like structure, I like planning. That's just me. But knowing that people are different is also what I love. So
Yeah.
like I can't plan these podcasts. I can't plan these conversations. My best way to plan them is to say, hey, let's meet up and let's talk. Hey, this is kind of what I want to talk about is fitness. Let's just stay on that topic ish. If it veers off, it veers off, but we'll bring it back. So like I think listening to more and more people that are like you, or that are like people like you, and like even my wife is like that. It also allows me to see and push myself
Yeah.
to take a chance, because I just didn't always take chances. Like I wasn't encouraged to take chances. I was encouraged to do the same thing
Right.
growing up. So
Right.
that's like I have like that. I have a very logical and fact-based mindset. I have to have a lot of information to understand and to know and to trust something. I can't just trust it just by hearing it once. Um, wow, wow, huh?
Hmm.
That is interesting. Okay, moving on from that questions. I think that question. Do you remember that the first question we asked that we got on that topic?
No.
How you do any, is how you do anything? No, it was. Are you who you are because of what you do, or do you do what you do because of who you are?
Yes.
And it went all through that. That was I like that. I like that veer off. Okay. As we're getting towards the end here, there's a couple more questions I want to ask.
Ask.
Um, Nichole, Coach Nichole. What was another one? Ooh, what? What? Just because we kind of already spoke a little bit about the way that you think, what is your definition? If you had to put it into words, what is your definition of success? What does that look like to you? I know it's a very cliche question, but if you could define it, how would you define it?
I want to give a cliche answer. Whatever makes you happy. No. I think success is waking up every day and being excited about the journey that's going to happen in the next 24 hours, right? Because you're never promised like the next couple of years, the next couple of days. So it's like success is just never giving up on yourself and never giving up on your dreams. I used to believe that, God, I love and I hate the hustler mindset. I do. I admire people that have it, and sometimes it's such a curse because you're your hardest critic, you know? And I have, with age, definitely learned that some people define success as $1 million house and a Maserati and a whole other lineup of, cars on their driveway and $1 billion income. And that's beautiful. If that's success to you, that's success. But they're still waking up every day working towards their goals. You know what I mean? And for me, success is just waking up and bettering myself and making sure success is being true to yourself. That's it, period. It's just being true to yourself. Even if you want to be a 9 to 5 worker, like maybe that's what someone wants. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's why I hate the hustler mindset, because it's like you push every day to like not be the 9 to 5. What's wrong with a 9 to 5? Maybe that's happy. Maybe that brings income in and insurance for the people who want kids and a white picket fence. You know what I mean? That's success to them. And I rock with that. Like I love that. But they're true to themselves. And success is being true to yourself. That was a lot.
No, you're fine. Just taking everything in. It's a lot of information, especially given the conversation we had for the past 30 minutes. Okay, so that's success. One more question then. What does it mean to fail? What does that word mean to you?
Failing is an opportunity that is teaching you a lesson.
Mhm.
Failure, it's the way you look at it, right? So you could look at waking up late as a failure. You could I didn't pass NASM the first time. That's a failure. I mean, I did, but like people who didn't or whatever it is, I didn't pass this test. I didn't pass that test. Um, I didn't make honor roll for college. I didn't hit my macros today. That's a failure. I didn't hit the PR I wanted. That's a failure. But no, it's not. It's a lesson. It's something you got to put in your playbook. You got to put it in your back pocket. You learned it. That's awesome. You have one up, you know? Like Eric Thomas, I used to really be into Eric Thomas. He describes failure as, because he used to be a professor, right? So he would tell his kids, a professor or coach, I can't remember, but he would tell his kids that if you failed that math class, like that's awesome because next year when you go back, you're gonna have 5 steps ahead of all the newbies that are coming in. So you can take those 5 steps, relearn them, perfect them, and then you're being set up for steps 6 through 10 of the lesson plan. So I get that. I relate to that because I get it. Like I failed college algebra 3 times. I had to go to a whole other college just to get credit for it and transfer it. So like that spoke to me when I was like 21 years old taking college algebra. You know what I mean? Um, but that's what it is. It's just another lesson for your playbook.
I like the way you look at failure. I like that a lot.
Thanks.
I think a quote, I think a quote by some really wise person said, failure is a necessary pit stop on your path to becoming greater. I realized that like, that was a really good interpretation of that quote, or what you said. Like it's failure is not final. It's
Yeah.
not. So failure is not final. No, failure is not fatal. Success is not final.
Yeah. Very true. Very, very true.
Wow. Okay. If we have that time before any other cameras cut off, one more question. I know I keep saying one question,
It's all good.
but
Ask
this
'em.
is for the last question we always do in the interview. Is for the people listening. What advice would you give them that are afraid to take that next step in that fitness industry, whether it be their fitness journey personally, or they're thinking about becoming a coach or an instructor, or go apply at a gym and they don't feel like they can do it because they don't feel as fit as they should be? What advice would you give them to take that next step?
I'm gonna speak to the people who have lost the weight, right? Who aren't the athlete growing up. Like my advice to you is just go. Face the rejection head on. It'll happen, but someone out there is going to take that chance on you. And one rejection is bringing you closer to a yes. That sounds cliche. It sounds mundane and oversaid, but it's the truth. Like, it's the truth. And that's the reason why it is a cliche and it is repeated over and over again because you're never going to know unless you try. So dust yourself up, pick yourself up, put on your freaking spandex, go put on a trainer shirt, and go. And start at LA Fitness if you have to. Start somewhere, get the experience. Start training people on the side. Be educated, know what you're doing. YouTube it if you have to. Don't hurt someone because you don't have the knowledge for it. But go. Do it. Step on the side of the gym. Learn people's names. Start learning management's names. But don't give up on yourself. Don't cut yourself short.
I like that. Well, woo, don't sell yourself short. Take that jump. Take that leap. Yeah, that's gonna be that quote for today. Use that Coach Nichole mindset. Take that next step. Woo.
Love it.
Well, that's gonna wrap up that podcast for today. Thank you, Nichole. We got to do one thing before we end, though. We always do it. yeah, coach, you say it as a sign of encouragement. Like you just beat someone in Madden, or you like talk to a girl you're uncomfortable talking to, right? You say it like, hell yeah. Like, and we got to say it with enthusiasm. You got to
All
say it
right.
loud. You can back up from the mic a little bit if you need
I'm
to, all
not
right? You ready?
enthusiastic.
We're going to on the
Yeah,
count of
okay.
3. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
coach.
coach. Woo! Thank you all for listening. We'll see you all next time. Y'all have a good one.